Hi classmates, hi ma'am. In this video, we are going to talk about the writing editorial column. So, in writing an editorial column, it is important that you have a good qualification. So, one topic that we are going to discuss for today is having a good qualification, or a qualification of a good columnist. And the other one is the purpose of the editorial column. So let's proceed to the first one, which is the qualifications of a good columnist. So number one qualification of a good columnist is the ability to write good English or Filipino, whichever his medium. So as a columnist or as a writer, it is important that you have a good background of the medium that you're going to use. It's either English or Filipino. Dapat marunong kang or mas maalam ka pagdating sa lingwahe, the language that you're going to use in writing. Next one is the ability to observe keenly. Many things around him are worth writing about in his column, but this may lie hidden if he doesn't have a keen observation. So as a good columnist, it is important that you have the ability to observe. You are observant of what is happening around you. Kasi if you have that kind of skills, the way you observe your situation or the situation that you're in will give you the opportunity to have a writing that is worth the interest of the readers. Third one is clear or logical thinking. So one of the most important purposes of a column is to interpret news. He who cannot think clearly and logically has no business being a columnist. So why it is important that as a columnist you have a clear and you think logically. So it is important that you have this kind of skills, because as a columnist it is important that you have a clear and logical way of thinking. So since your job is to analyze and interpret information written in the news, you should be critical and logical, because the way you write or the way you think, affects the way you write. Fourth one is having a wide background of knowledge in literature, arts, history, human nature, and other aspects is a must for a columnist. The more you know about the topic or news, the easier it is to read a text and understand it and retain the information. It will be easier also for you to analyze the information written in the news, and at the same time it will be easier to formulate conclusions since you have already the knowledge about the thing or about the topic or the news. Fifth one is resourcefulness. Column are opinions, but the opinions must be based on facts, and most of the facts are hard to get. The columnist must therefore be resourceful. So it says here that as a columnist, it is important that you are resourceful. So you are not just going to base on opinions, and as a columnist, it is not part of your work. It's not a good qualification to base on opinions. There will always be facts, based on facts. That is why it is important you have a wide range of resources. Now, moving on to the sixth qualification, it is having sense of fairness, or have a sense of fairness. So a bigoted, prejudiced writer has no right to fill in the seat of a columnist. Often, the columnist has to clarify some conflicting issues. His job calls upon him to tell the truth. But how can he do this if he is committed to some limited group of people or to an institution in which he has a vested interest. Now here, in this part, you'll know that as a columnist, you're committed only to the truth and nothing but truth. So you should be fair enough in both sides, not based your writing in mere opinion and clouded by emotions. And just like what it says here, prejudices are not allowed and should not be practiced by a columnist, since as a writer, you should be neutral and must avoid biases. Moving on to the next topic, which is the purpose of the editorial column. What is the purpose of the editorial column? So, the columnist informs the readers what he may not know. So, means that editorial column is there for us to be informed or to inform the readers of what he or may not know. Next one is the columnist disclose what happened behind the closed doors of that secret party caucus, the motivation behind the political moves now and the headlines, the undercover events which led to that momentous foreign policy decision, the existence of the scandal or racket, the commission of a wrong that must be set right, or it may be the heartwarming tale of how a man committed a private act of honesty that should be upheld for the emulation of all, a great or a little deed that might inspire others to do the same, a funny incident, the achievement of a dream against overwhelming odds, facts and anecdotes that add up to these often repeated words, human interest. Next, the columnist forms or helps to formulate public opinion when he comments with logic, rumor, or emotion on an issue of the day. The main purpose of the column is to inform, to interpret, and to a large degree, or to fiscalize. The columnist features news that papers may have forgotten to report. He presents tidbits or stories that the reporter has failed to notice. To provide background to the main stories on page 1, and as an interpreter, the columnist condenses the main news into clear, logical, and effective sentences or paragraph to emphasize the meat of the story so as to form opinion, to expose fraud wherever it exists, or like the main editorial, to teach, to praise, to attack, to appeal, or to entertain. As a fiscalizer, the columnist acts as an arbiter. When we say arbiter, it's like a judge. So they are the one who judge whether it is right or wrong. So in a political arena, he fiscalizes not only the government and the ruling party, but also the minority group. A campus columnist, in the same vein, fiscalizes not only the administration, but also the faculty and the studentry. He analyzes the facts, interprets them, and forms logical and informed public opinion. He gives inside information on what people do not know, or of things they are not privy to, and of secret doings that are hidden from a public view. To sum it up, being a columnist is not easy, since there are things that you need to set aside, and the important thing that you need to put in mind is your obligation to interpret and to inform people regarding some issue that is being hidden. So it is your responsibility to be fair in judgment. That is why it is important that you possess those qualities and know why you are doing it. you should have a passion to inform others. And always keep in mind that you are writing for the sake of everybody, for everyone to know.